Good evening. It's Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Welcome back to Boomer Rex Tonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole, what separates our show from other Millennial news podcasts?
That 30% of our cast spent the opening of the show thinking about scorpions.
Fucking.
That's true. And we have a missing cat.
We just taught Risen that if you have a cricket in your house, you probably have scorpions.
Yeah.
If you live in the Southwest.
Right.
We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself. You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning that's 3 unique perspectives we share alone with the facts from our literal round table. We have some interesting coverage tonight of the January 6th hearings. Day 4. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, I promise you that. So hang in tight. But let's dig right into our headlines. Big fish in Bangkok.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, it turns out we have a new world record for freshwater fish, right? So this is 660 pounds, right? And it's a ray. And God, the picture's amazing. I mean, we're talking about an animal big enough to be a waterbed for 4 people, right? I mean, this thing is gigantic. Anyway, so the guy caught this thing, pulled it ashore, but he knew that there was a local group. It's a Mekong giant catfish, by the way. And we've only known about them since 2005. So anyway, he knew there was a team of scientists from Wonders of the Mekong Project. And so he called them, and they came and measured it and weighed it and so forth and so on.
They let it free.
And then they tagged it at the base of its tail, and they turned it loose, and it swam happily away.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So anyway, and he got paid for it.
They're not good
$660.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Then $1 a pound. That's fair. That's probably what the going rate is, but those rays.
That's how they decided how much to pay.
Particularly good eating. So
yeah,
better to let it go.
Well, I mean, if you fried it up, it'd be like a giant pancake with a giant pancake with a giant sausage in the middle of it.
No, but I like that scientists will do that. They'll pay them whatever the going rate is for, the thing, and say, we'll release it, but you'll still get paid. So, and that encourages them to do stuff like, hey, we just found this really big thing. You gotta come see. So that's really cool, and I love it. I used to watch this awesome show called River Monsters, and they caught one of those big ones too. I think the one they caught was 400-something pounds, but it was huge.
You've come a long way from Charles Darwin cramming a bunch of shit in a box and shipping it home, being like, bah! Who knows? Including one partially eaten sample of fucking one of the things he went to study.
Of course.
They cooked it and prepared it and everything. When he was halfway through before he realized this is the thing I came here to study. God damn it.
Oops. Put it in the box.
So don't read their journals. It was just a white boy traveling across the thing, killing rando new animals.
Yeah.
Fair.
And stuffing them in a box to take home and look at.
Sometimes they'd just be angry and hit the animal that came up, and because naturalists weren't awesome people. They're not the Sierra Club kids you think they are.
Yeah. All right. So be careful who you piss off.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. No, I love this one. So anyway, this happened last Friday. On Friday, hackers delayed the start of President Vladimir Putin's speech to the Russia's flagship economic forum by 100 minutes. So here's their world-class economic forum, except they have no Western participation at all. State companies made a big point of publicly signing deals, and lots of firms had stalls with floor-to-ceiling displays and glamorous attendants and, the usual stuff. But Western investors and investment bankers who'd always turned up in previous years were totally absent. And one of the Western investors said, new business from the Italian side is just frozen. He said, it's, new investment is just impossible, and people are not increasing their investments. So anyway, it's a simple denial of service attack. And it turned their internet into shit and delayed the start of Putin's speech by 100 minutes. So anyway, I hope it was the Ukrainians, but it may just be pissed off Westerners.
Yeah.
After they announced that they were going to consider killing American citizens. Yeah, I'm sure people weren't too happy about that.
Another third world country, shitholistan.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
All right, fire the coward.
Well, we knew this was going to happen, and it's been building up. We now know that they had plenty of cops with rifles in Uvalde.
Wait.
That they had ballistic shields, and that the door to the classroom was not locked, so they could have gone in at any time. So anyway, members of the Uvalde, Texas community are calling for the resignation of the police chief. They're saying, you know, you delayed this, you valued the lives of your officers over the lives of the students, and the
That's the one I'm
teacher
waiting to
who
find.
phoned her husband dying from inside the room. I'll tell you something. If that'd been my wife, I'd have tried the fucking door.
Dying. Well, that's the thing. I've heard all day the several things we've been hearing burble around about. Yes, they had Halligan tools. They had all the things. Yes, there was zero chance they were going in once they believed there was a real rifle in play.
Yeah.
Right.
But
They didn't want to
didn't
die.
matter-
Like, again, I want people to understand that these cops were,
Yes.
they had AR-15s.
That
style
wasn't the
rifles.
decision they made.
No, but they were, you know, they were saying, oh, we were outgunned. They were not fucking outgunned. Don't fucking fool yourselves, people.
Yes. No, they
It's
were.
cowardice.
Room to room fighting.
Yeah.
A pistol is exactly what you'd want.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, it has nothing to do with that being outgunned. They made that decision because it was a threat to their body armor.
Yeah. They want to go home.
Yeah, they were right.
And
Go
I
home at the
understand.
end of their-
I understand wanting to go home.
Yeah.
I also understand that when you put on the fucking badge, you're expected
One of the
to do
many,
something
many
else.
reasons I'm not a cop.
But
So again, I'm going to ask the question. Right? Did they actually attend the mass shooting class, or did they just get
That's what I'm more
credit for
curious about.
attending it?
yeah,
Right?
I'm starting to question. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are, and not starting to. I've been questioning that since day 2 when they started fucking up their.
Well, none of the thing about this made any kind of sense.
No.
Just none at
It's a
all.
6-person police department?
Yeah, fucking crazy.
That's not enough to do much.
No, but that was just the department for
Yeah.
the schools.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only one I'm talking about.
Right.
Because that's the only, right. The rest is shithouse because I'm sure they built their 6-person department as it was going to do this thing.
And then they didn't do any of it.
No,
6 people isn't enough to have a team to be able to do anything on any randomly selected day.
Okay, so remember we found out that these, you know, cops that were school cops 2 years ago did a thing where they went around to each school to learn the layout and everything.
I certainly heard that claim.
Yes, exactly. But this was what was
Yes.
being claimed. And now what we're hearing is that they had schematics, layouts of this school, and they were the wrong layout.
Right.
And that was part of the reason why things were all fucked up. I'm like, what kind of a layout do you need when you know dude's in that door?
He's on the other side of that wall.
You've had people inside that hallway for 3 minutes after he got in there.
If their
3
selection
fucking minutes. They knew where he
system
was.
is any kind of not bullshit, and they actually selected anything like the right people, what you're going to find is an incredibly intricate and well done, hastily prepared cover story.
Yeah.
Right? That these are people who are smart enough to generate any schematics you need, right. Once it became obvious to this team they weren't taking the building, they began constructing the story of what they were doing instead.
Yeah.
And it's what you can tell from the handful of stories we've gotten already.
And the drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
Well, the door was locked. We needed a key. No,
Well,
the
and
door
that's-
wasn't locked.
And the drips are going to be from the third and fourth sets of people who wrote a report about the shit they
Yep.
saw
Yep.
that didn't get fed into the main thing that was all going to the press.
Yeah.
And now you're going to start having problems where you're like, wait, these two who aren't who have nothing to gain by telling the story this way are saying this thing.
Yeah, no, this has just been getting
No,
worse
this is
and
the-
worse and worse every time they release new information, and I think that every officer there should be fired.
Oh, yeah.
All of them, because this one dude, the Adirondack, what was his name?
I want
It
them
began
to
with an A,
hang
but
their
anyway.
heads in
Arredondo.
shame.
Arredondo. So Arredondo was like, well, I wasn't in charge, and none of their radios, for whatever reason, were working inside the school, and I'm wondering if that some schools have. My high school used to have a cell phone blocker, so you'd have to kind of go.
Shit.
You'd have to kind of go out to the edge of the school to be able to get whatever around the edges. But
I think it's
why
more like
did they
that. They
not
have a
have
wire mesh in the
radio?
that worked.
The radios that work there, and apparently only the border patrol
They probably bought
had
them from
radios.
Julian.
And even those didn't work well.
No, they were touch
But
and
again,
go.
you think that's something you would test.
Yeah, I
So,
would.
Anyway,
2 years ago when they did this run through, they should have
absolutely.
tried all that shit, but no.
And properly selected, your team will have a kid who knows how
Anyway,
radios work.
so
and you
it-
could ask him where the worst
So-
place you could possibly
Yeah, the head
go
of the
is.
Texas DPS says this was an absolute disaster.
I
Of
want
course it
Total
was.
fuck up.
I want
start
to
finish.
see the police handle this with the same level of performative nonsense that they do when there's a funeral or a kid with cancer.
Yeah.
I want a national moment of police hanging their head in fucking shame.
Yeah.
Because this was the time when the police introduced to the American people, to the genuine fucking zeitgeist of the nation, that police have weapons to protect themselves. Not you, not little kids, not kittens and trees, not mom and apple pie.
Yeah.
Not even
And
their
they are
own
willing to
fucking
let
family.
you. Yeah.
Yep.
And
And if they're frightened, they're willing to let you die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're willing to let their
This
own
is-
family die. That's
One of them let his wife die.
Because
I couldn't be too
If-
hard
if-
on him
if I
because he
was-
may have been following orders.
If I was that guy, I would
we
have been
would
like,
never allow
I would
that.
have been like, fuck you, boss. I'm going in. Who's coming with me? Everybody else who didn't say I is going to get shot, and I'm going in that door. Because what's going to scare this guy more than anything, it's hearing shots outside the door before they enter when he knows that there's cops, all cops, and nothing but cops
How
in the
fucked up
hallway.
is that school shooter going to be when the cop backs in shooting at the other cops?
And then turns and shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
No, I think
Fuck
my
my life.
approach would have been you can shoot
Yeah.
me or you can get out
Aye,
of my way.
for sure.
Oh, of course, I'm joking. I would never shoot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is that like this is how crazy this is, right?
No, and if the except for everything else they've done was so garbage, they can't possibly claim it. If they had done everything else like little wind-up troops, you could do the good story about this is what happens when you overtrain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they genuinely train them to the point that you could give the order to stand down and have any reason to believe that would be what happened.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just a disaster. And apparently the community is beginning to turn on the folks who are responsible for
Good.
it.
Yeah.
Good. Took them long
So,
enough, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a huge impulse to not want to believe the worst of this, and
Well, especially when these officers are very integrated with the community. These people know each other. They know their kids.
man,
They know
it
their
really is.
families. This is, I mean, I can imagine being somebody who lived there being like, this is something weird is going on here, and hearing more and more information about how
the three of us
nothing
talking
weird
about
happened.
it
The
when
weird,
it happened, saying
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it was weird, right? But part of that, at least for me, comes easy with right. I've got a huge amount of experience reading reports. Going, this doesn't make sense in weird ways early.
Yep.
That hold on, you engaged him twice and
Nope. And the first two officers that had gone in, their excuse for not firing is there were children playing outside in the background of their shot, which I haven't seen any video of children being outside at the time that this all began. Because
Looking at the geometry of the door he went in through, I don't think that's true.
and you have
this
to
is
remember
scratched. They're gonna claim the school is the
he
background.
was shooting outside for 12 minutes. There were no kids outside, so I don't know what this bullshit is.
What
but-
were all the deaf kids on the wrong side of the school that day?
like, and how many deaf kids are there honestly in the public school
Yeah.
system? It's just not. It's
Well,
not
no, that's always the thing when people are like, well, maybe it's fireworks. Like, bitch, if you've ever heard gunfire, you're not confusing
No.
the two. One sounds like God slamming his car door,
I
and the other sounds like fireworks.
Yeah.
I used to live in a city, and I've heard many of fireworks, many of those little. What are they? The firecrackers,
Yeah.
stuff like that throughout the year, just randomly. One night I heard 2 for surezies gunshots. I was like, those were not.
No.
Those were definitely not fireworks.
At the
I know
range,
what
at
a
the
firework
distance you
sounds
can
like.
confuse gunfire for fireworks, both are irrelevant.
Right.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
you could confuse an M80 for gunshot, but that's about a cherry bomb. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So Bigotville.
And no one has seen a real M80.
Really?
The closest I ever came was I saw him in fucking what's the movie with the train? Stand by Me.
Okay.
Did I tell you about the
'Cause they
time?
don't. That's the like sticky one with it comes out the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the M80s I've seen are Here, I'll show you a modern M80. They're dumb.
Oh.
They're like a quarter the charge.
Oh.
I had a dude who had been or had a friend or something who had been in the military, came to our house one night and threw what he thought was an M80, like firework, into our fire pit, and the earth-shattering kaboom that followed.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Party's over. You need to go. Everybody needs to leave. This is too much." But it had like foreign writing on it, so nobody really knew what it was. But they thought it'd be funny if it was just a regular firework. But no, this was a big earth-shattering kaboom.
Yeah, the
crazy.
M80s we used to buy came in a cardboard package of 12, and they were real M80s, and yeah, they'd blow your hand off, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this idiot thought it'd be a great idea to throw it in a fire pit while there are people
Wonderful.
dancing around it and shit.
Yeah, I've seen those mostly marked as M80s
Oh, no.
versus quarter stick dynamite,
Yeah.
which is what the original M80 actually was.
All right, Bigotville, Kansas.
So after Kansas Governor Laura Kelly vetoed a statewide parents' rights bill this spring, Bigottsville, Kansas, let's see, what's the name of it? It's the Lansing School Board in Leavenworth County, voted 4-3 to approve a parents' bill of rights, which is, the standard, white nationalist bigot, right? Anyway, the
Don't say gay
bigot
bill
enablers.
bullshit.
It's been referred to as the Teacher Demoralization Act.
Of course.
Again, I don't understand why teachers are going back to school. Fuck this, walk away.
No, stop teaching.
Let
That's the only way you
Tru-
can stop
Let
this.
the Trump-tards teach their children.
Yeah.
They'll be your servants. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
It's fine.
No, one of the companies
walk
I
away
worked
from this
for
shit.
had an aggressive program of bringing teachers in for the summer. And we finally scaled it back because we were hiring all of them. That we never got one who wasn't worth hiring, not a single one ever. So now we tended to bring in science teachers and biology teachers and so forth, but still, right? They were well educated, they were smart, they were productive for the summer, and how do you not offer somebody a job who's worked with you for 3 or 4 months and done an excellent job? And how do you not offer them a job, especially if you're looking for people? And we always were.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was sad, but our entry level offers to these people were
Life changing.
Yeah, they were half again at a minimum. They were half again what they were making as teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
So
No.
Soapsy?
Yeah. Fuck you, Teddy Cat. I can see out the window.
Oh my god.
yeah, but he may be lost.
Say la guerre.
All right.
He
Well,
can hear us.
yeah, that's true. We can go sit out there and
Yep.
see if we can get him.
Set Texas free.
Oh, yeah, I love this. So Texas Republicans are pushing for a referendum to decide whether the state should secede. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. God damn. Can we evict them? Can we throw them off the island?
Yeah.
And then we'd have a place to evict all the other Trump-tards too. Just throw them over the wall.
Absolutely be happy. We can be perfectly nice about this. We are taking Fort Hood and all of its things back.
Absolutely.
Aye.
Yeah. No, Texas is one of the taker states.
Yeah.
I would
They
also
get a huge amount of federal tax dollars.
Look, it's a terrible idea to lead to a civil war beyond words. I'd rather us go the Civil War route we went last time, where we kind of tit for tatted of violence and then just caught on fire.
Yeah.
That's way better than any sort of actual nation building between times, because you'd be building weapons to use against a people you hate more than most.
So anyway, there is no provision for them to leave the United States. So,
Yep.
But I'm quite sure
I think
they
it's
will.
kind of bullshit.
I'll bet you they do the referendum, and I'll bet it passes. And I seriously think if they leave on Tuesday, he's trying to get in. If they leave on Tuesday, we'll have the wall built by Thursday.
Yeah.
So, and you won't even have to hire anybody to do it. The citizens of New Mexico and Oklahoma and anyway.
And I wouldn't build a wall, but
No, that's useless. We know that. Building walls doesn't do anything.
yeah.
So, no, I say if Texas wants to secede, fucking goodbye.
Well, we'll have a lot more money to spend
Don't
after they
fucking
leave.
care.
Because they soak up a whole bunch of federal
Yeah,
money.
and guess what? When those, like, hurricanes and shit come and they hit you, oh, you're on your own now. No more government teat to help you out. Black pastor tells it like it is.
Oh, I love
this.
this. Yeah. So, Southern Baptist minister recently accused his fellow pastors of having become whores for Donald Trump. Elicited howls of protest. They're all saying that he should repent. It's just wonderful. So, he spoke on the first day of the Southern Baptist General Convention. So, where he accused some ministers of losing their minds and, just becoming political whores with this whole Trump stuff. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But I love it because Protestia was an online publication associated with Fellowship Baptist Church in Montana, blasted him, but their description was perfect. Said, as far as becoming political whores and, like bending over so the bad orange man could impregnate us with racial ideologies. Yeah, that's exactly what you did. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you did.
Nope. I liked his actual quote about they lost their minds when Obama got elected.
Yeah.
And a lot of bigots in America did.
Yeah.
A lot of people who probably didn't think they were racist, like, I don't know, evolved.
Ridiculous.
Learned something new about themselves.
This is great. Good job, buddy. Keep it up.
Yeah. I don't think it'll matter. This is part of why, right, A, I'm not a Republican, B, and certainly not part of the religious right.
True.
That's kind of where my life experiences told me all of that congregates.
Fools and their money.
Yes. Fuck them. Nope, they're the ones that want to shout so hard about how we live in a capitalist whatever.
Yep.
Guard your nuts, motherfucker. Caveat emptor.
Oh, geez. Anyway.
Bet you wish you had paid attention in Latin class. Bet you wish you had taken a Latin class, motherfuckers.
Oh, anyway. On Monday, disinformation fighting tech company Logically.ai reported that a special cryptocurrency developed for adherents of the QAnon conspiracy theory has imploded. Yeah, there's a big shock.
You see its name?
So for the past year, 2 QAnon-affiliated influencers have been persuading thousands of their followers to invest in a portfolio of cryptocurrency tokens marked as fraudulent by the Stellar Network. And Stellar Network is a major blockchain, right? Alongside better known...
Major scumbag says smaller scumbag not related.
Yeah, absolutely.
That should have been the headline there.
So anyway, they have caused their followers to lose millions of dollars, including one, and this is actually sad, who died by suicide after losing a little over $100,000. So anyway, combining conspiracy theories with bad investment advice, Whiplash 347 and Quantum Stellar Initiative, which has no relationship to Stellar Networks.
Yeah, our garbage is totally different than their garbage.
So anyway, they coordinated to produce a weekly curated list of cryptocurrency assets, claiming they had access to secret military intelligence.
Of course.
And knew which assets were going to succeed.
No, but its name is delightful because it is... there was a period when if you attached blockchain to anything...
Yeah,
you would
sell.
get... Right, this sort of Oprah effect of free-form nonsense. And that's how they generated their name, right? The stellar part is to make it sound like they're part of this other company.
Yeah.
Right, the same way there's the ACLU and the other thing, very like the bizarro equivalent of. That's very much not.
Yes. So anyway, just silly. But again, this is one of the things that's happening in the among the Trump-tards is they're getting really mad at the people they view as traitors in their midst. Guys, you've got lots of traitors in your midst. You've been grifted like nobody's ever been grifted.
There's
in
no one on your
history.
side.
And the chief grifter is Trump.
Yeah.
And I understand how bad it feels to say this was wrong. I've been screwed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've been screwed, right? And the rest of us understand how angry and scared and
It would help if the left would say anything like the words you're using and about to use.
Yeah.
The left is in no way right. The only one I've heard describe that it's okay to be angry is Sanders, and in her more interesting moments, AOC.
yeah, well, that's stupid. These people have every reason to be
fucking
angry. They've been
movie.
screwed repeatedly by the Republican Party, and the Democrats
We
haven't
locked
goddamn
it.
helped much.
We locked him in the South with the bosses.
Jesus. But again, this whole Trump thing is, guys, you've been grifted like you've never been grifted in your life.
It's hilarious. We are as stupid to the South as Florida is against Cuba.
Yeah,
Actually, similar
just
reasons.
horrifying.
Hey, we're angry that Reconstruction didn't work out the way we were hoping it would, and we've never stopped taking that out on the South. Right, our pro-business decisions, however bad, they've now echoed through the economy and molested everyone in it.
Yeah, yeah.
They've done the South wildly dirtier.
Oh yeah. Now, I mean, go look at who's getting where
Look at
working
where there
folks
used
are
to be
getting screwed.
mountaintops
Yeah.
and rivers, and now there's
Any
hills.
state, any state with a right to work law,
Yeah,
right? That's union busting, guys. That's why your salary is so goddamn low, is because you're not part of a union. Nobody's working on your part. Because if you think your boss is working for you, you're out of your goddamn mind.
yeah.
Your boss doesn't give a fuck about you.
Maybe your first level
Here's a
supervisor
headline for
does,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Right. But no big company's leadership gives a shit about you. All they care about is they can get some people, some little cogs for their great machine.
Yep.
Right, but again, even if your immediate boss is nice and likes you, they're just doing what the people upstairs tell them, no matter how much they care or maybe
Not
don't.
all of them. Some of them leave. But yes.
But my point is, if they're there,
None of them are going to stop the
following-
bosses from giving you
They're
an
not
answer
gonna-
if
they're
it
not
gives them
gonna-
$1.
They're not going to change what the company does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
probably won't warn you if the company decides to do things that are bad.
No, they tell you after the fact when you have to fucking deal with that
Yeah.
shit.
If they know,
Yeah.
corporations have fucked up spectacularly, and
Yep.
yikes.
All right, about that big tent.
Oh God, I love this one. So, the log cabin Republicans have been decrying LGBTQ equality and denigrating the leftist community and transgender people and so forth. They finally found out people were listening to them.
Fair.
Unfortunately for them, it was their party, and they've been denied even a minimal gesture of inclusion. They will not have a booth at the Texas GOP convention.
I don't think they did previously.
I'm sure they did.
In the 80s and early 90s, maybe.
Yeah. But again, at this point, if you're a member of the log cabin
They
Republicans,
didn't have
you're
a
shit.
spot at CPAC under
Um,
Trump, is my vague recollection.
That'd be an interesting thing to look at. But I just love it because they wanted one, they didn't get it.
No.
So anyway,
No, tokenism is going to go way down amongst the genuine fascist.
so Charles Morin, who's the national group's president, jumped on social media to denounce the GOP's decision. Well, tough luck. Should have picked a better party. What can I tell you?
This is like
These
all
people
of the...
hate you. They keep talking about putting you against a wall and executing you. When are you gonna fucking wake up? Jesus
Or
Christ!
at least
you're
standing in
stupid.
rooms where people say it.
Yeah, they're standing next to people
Yeah.
who say it.
And always have.
Screw them.
And it's not for the political expediency.
And these folks, I don't feel bad for. Fuck
No.
them. So
All right.
again, but hey, Republicans, those are some of the traitors in your midst, right? You might
just
want to
asking
look
the
at them.
crazies.
Yeah.
Boomer Rex is about damn time. Tell me the good news, sir.
All right. So anyway, Scott McFarlane, who's been watching the criminal cases against the armed insurrectionists from January 6th, reported that Mark Mazza, a Capitol rioter from Indiana, has pleaded guilty to a firearms offense. I thought none of them were armed. Oh, shucks. He signed a statement attesting that he had carried and then lost a firearm while in a crowd of people who were involved. in the violent insurrection and the violence against law enforcement inside the tunnel area at the West Front.
He was in the tunnel. This dude should just be in jail forever.
So anyway, yeah, Tucker Carlson keeps saying, hey, nobody was armed, and Tucker Carlson's obviously lying. But then again...
Well, we've known that since day one.
That's Tucker Carlson's stock in trade.
This is not... or whatever. All right. Mike Lindell, idiot warning. Just so y'all know, everything that follows is some bullshit. Don't listen to it. He's a fucking idiot. We are just reporting the stupid shit that pours out of his stupid dumb mouth so you can be prepared and up-armor yourself and your friends against this insanity. Continue, sir. With dumbass of the day.
He has assured his followers that former President Donald Trump can still be reinstated. Of course, how many, 6 different times he said on such and such a date, Donald Trump will be reinstated.
Shut up, he's still trying to find a sincere pumpkin patch.
He's trying to string the grift out.
Yeah.
Right? So...
Well, and he's detonated his genuine business line.
Yeah, people are.
I don't think My Pillow's coming back.
The fact that Walmart bailed on him because Walmart's like, no, this has gotten too crazy, buddy.
Said he would present new evidence of fraud, and that what's going to happen is everyone is going to go, wow, and this really happened, and yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he said this over and over, has produced no evidence of any kind
but
in any
here's
place.
my thing. He says he's going to release it in August. If he really fucking had it, don't you feel like you would have released it already? Like,
Any of the 6 other times they were doing this?
You got to play the grift out.
Yep.
This is insane. And anyone who listens to somebody who says, oh, hey, I got this information, I'll give it to you in a month. Well, if you have it, give it to me now. Why are we waiting?
Yep.
Because you obviously don't have it, which is why you're saying you're going to give it to me in a month. And then in a month, you're going to say, oh, here's the stupid thing that I spent the last month weaving.
This is just about keeping the churn going so that people can hear that some vague thing they kind of remember or they saw a headline.
Yeah.
Because I saw that study that was saying
still contribute to
you're wildly more likely to attribute things you've seen on the internet to your own memory.
Yep.
So
why don't we shut some doors?
No.
But anyway.
I'm thinking I might close this one. So
No,
come in there
let him
again.
come back in this one. This one's the one he knows.
But he came in from that one.
Yeah, that's okay. At least he's back over here and knows how to get back in.
But no, it's entirely just about keep claiming some bullshit.
Sorry, we're talking about the escaped indoor cat that wandered in and then ran away because he thinks it's a fun game. Yeah, you could close that one. He found his way in the other side.
That was not
Yeah,
bad.
that's not a bad idea. So we're going to try to trap the cat in the house. We'll see if it works. But hey, at least he's back on the right side of the goddamn fence.
Yeah.
Fair? So we have some chance of defending him if the coyotes show up.
All right. Well, I think that if there was coyotes on the property, Wade would lose his shit.
That's true. Wade would probably defend it.
Updates with the Boomer Rex health threats.
So,
So,
excuse me.
I'm looking forward to hearing what the new health threats are. I didn't look them up.
So this one is interesting. A lot of our early information on the effectiveness of COVID vaccines and so forth came out of Israel because they have an actual public health program, unlike the United States. So they were testing and they were monitoring and they were tracking and so forth.
Right.
So they had the data.
Having a population the size of a medium-sized town helps.
Having a public health system
Oh,
works.
for sure.
Okay. So anyway, they have a small study that suggests that there may be a potential link between children who've had COVID and a subsequent infection by an adenovirus.
Yeah.
So anyway, the lead author says, look, it's too soon to tell whether that's true. It was a small study, but there are some indications that a previous encounter with COVID-19 primes the immune system to react badly to a subsequent infection.
Sure.
So anyway, that's the first thing I had heard that began to make sense. as to why we suddenly see so many cases is because we had a lot of kids who were infected with COVID-19, never showed any serious symptoms, but they do have what is effectively a long COVID symptom. So.
Fair. All right, climate weirding.
Well, we got to talk about the other ones because we got the morons in the governor's office in Florida distributing some health information, like not recommending the COVID-19 vaccine for children and advising parents to talk to their pediatrician, but we recommend against it, et cetera, et cetera. It's just standard goddamn nonsense.
Right.
There's no data to suggest that that's what they should be saying. And of course they say, as Republicans always do when they're caught in a lie, is, well, we're just following the data. You can't even read the data, right? So the idea that you might be following the data is laughable on its face. So, okay. Want to do climate weirding?
Yeah.
Cool. So, turns out, like everywhere else, the jet stream influences the weather in Australia. And in the autumn and winter in Australia, the jet stream there splits into two pieces. But since the mid-90s, the location of the split has moved, and the speeds of the winds involved have also changed. And those changes are related to global warming. They're responsible for a huge decrease in the number of low-pressure systems that are bringing rain to Southeast Australia. So, anyway, again, this is just part of climate weirding, right? That when you have these massive collections of excess energy,
Mm-hmm.
and they influence where the jet stream goes, and that in turn decides what weather you're going to get and where. So, same issue we have here, which is if the jet stream moves a little bit to the east, we're going to have a drought like nobody's ever seen. And if it moves a little bit to the west, we're going to turn into a mid-latitude jungle. So
Interesting.
Temperate jungle. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, I forgot to say at the beginning of the show, I want to say happy summer solstice, everybody. Yay! Fun. But let's get into this, the day 4 of the January 6th hearings.
Okay.
Now,
I'm going to go sit and see if I can attract my cat.
you don't want to be here for this?
I want my cat.
Okay. So we pause this and go do the cat.
All right. So, no cat yet, but we have sighted him, so he's doing good. All right. I want to talk about... I decided today that we were going to see what some of the really right-wing people are discussing about the January 6th hearing. So I went on OAN, One American News Network.
Oh, God.
And I searched for January 6th hearings, day 4. Absolutely nothing.
No, the Putin network doesn't have...
Since June 16th, they have not written a single article on...
You'd get better yardage saying the Disney network since Disney poured way more money into OAN.
Disney did?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Bucks. Pretty sure. Is that a Newsmax? Hold on. Anyway.
So, the results that I get, the first thing that pops up when I searched for Jan 6 hearings day 4. Now, mind you, when you type into their search bar, whether you have caps locks on or not, it types it in all caps because you're yelling everything at them.
Oh,
apparently.
of course.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is crazy.
that's one way to make your search insensitive.
So anyway, the first article that came up says, Ginny Thomas, looking forward to speaking with J6 committee. So I read this extremely short and lacking of substance article, and because it is extremely short and lacking in substance, I will read it to you. So this was written Thursday, June 16th of 2022. It does not look like they have
AT&T, not Disney.
specific writers that they give credit for writing things. So I have
The
no
usual way to tell.
Yeah. January 6th committee has invited Virginia Ginny Thomas, the wife of the Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, to testify. She said she is looking forward to speaking with the committee. Ginny made the comment to the Daily Caller on Thursday and told the outlet she can't wait to clear up misconceptions. Her remarks came as a committee chairman, Benny Thompson, Democrat, Mississippi, told reporters the panel sent a letter to Thomas requesting she testify before them. The conservative activist is reportedly being targeted by the committee over text messages to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and allegedly emails to attorney John Eastman regarding the 2020 election. Thompson said the emails might come up at some point in the hearings, though they were still in the discovery phase. Eastman claimed he did not discuss matters before the Supreme Court with Ginny Thomas or her husband. And this is in quotes, but it doesn't say who said it, but it's in quotes in bright red, and it says, whether or not those new accounts were true, I can categorically confirm that at no time did I discuss with Miss Thomas or Justice Thomas any matters pending or likely to come before the court. Eastman voice. Okay.
And that's some bullshit.
The emails with Ginny Thomas were related to an invitation to give an update about the election litigation to a group she met with periodically.
All of which was likely
Which
to end before the
was likely
Supreme
to be-
Court.
Yeah.
And this short and sweet article ends with three sentences. Thomas's attempts to overturn the election results have drawn fierce criticism from Democrats. Her involvement in the efforts has raised ethical questions over her husband's role in deciding cases related to the election and January 6th. Justice Thomas has argued his decisions are entirely separate from his wife's activism. So they got the last paragraph right, I guess.
I'm sure he's argued that.
Like 3 whole sentences.
Yeah.
It's good. Just good. But the
They
rest
might
of
want to
this
ask
is-
about the 27 people in Arizona that she messaged.
I mean, where I balked was the whole the conservative activist is reportedly being targeted. I was like, excuse me? Conservative activist? What the fuck is a conservative activist? Apparently, when they're talking about conservative activists in this instance, they're talking about QAnon crazy people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's what Ginny Thomas is. She's a fucking QAnon insanity person.
Yep.
So anyway, so that was the first article that came up. The second article that comes up is House GOP lawmakers' J6 hearings have presented nothing new. This article is literally 2 sentences. And it was again posted Thursday, June 16th, 2022. And it says, conservative lawmakers on Capitol Hill told One American News that after 2 hearings sponsored by the January 6th panel, they've seen nothing new. One America's John Hines has more from Capitol Hill. And then they have a 4-minute and 53-second video right below it. And this video is just Dum-Dum running his mouth about dum-dum shit. Like, I can't even get into it. It was so stupid. My eyes glazed over, my ears were like, I know I'm hearing things,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make sense.
That's the role he's got to play. I did find it interesting because we had discussed this earlier and we're curious what the coverage was on, right? And since we found from a number of the January 6th victims, right, or I guess victims of the Republican Party but perpetrators of January 6th.
Fair.
Yeah.
Right, that they get their news from OAN and Newsmax as their main sources. So
But
we decided we'd go and check that out. I went and looked at Newsmax. I was impressed. Newsmax appears to be the Drudge Report version 2.0.
Can they write complete sentences?
It's complete sentences.
I'll have to go see
The
what they got.
word choice is post-high school reading level. A lot of that's sort of aggregating, but it's very simplistic. It's very 90s website. Right, I understand why it's very comforting to the like boomers and such that are going there to be confirmed.
In there, yes, lunacy.
Yeah, or whatever. They're still trying to pull the fiscally conservative but socially liberal nonsense when let's pretend it's still the 90s and there's anybody who's trying to make any supply side sensible argument.
Yeah.
Conservative economics have been proven time and time again to not work.
Yeah, well, ask any of the working folks who are
so
none of the tax cuts paid for themselves.
been tricked into supporting Trump.
Right. So back on topic, one thing I want to discuss about OAN's coverage of everything seems to be short, sweet, simple, and with a 4.5 to 5 minute video at the end of it.
It's
or
the
4.5
TikTok
to
of
6 minute
fucking
video.
right-wing nonsense.
So what it is they'll give you a short blurb, usually 2, maybe 3 sentences, and then they'll give you a video anywhere from, 4 to 6
cookie of
minutes.
not knowing, followed by...
And the videos are insane. So I will share one.
Generically attractive people not knowing much.
So the next article on this list, actually, I lost my mind when I read this and watched the video attached to it, because I was like, this is fucking crazy. I couldn't even get through the whole video. It was so insane. So this says January 6th, political prisoner speaks out as hearings begin. And they say, political prison, this was from Friday, June 10th. So this was even 6 days prior to the other 2 videos. So to the other 2 articles. So they are not writing about this at all. Like as little as possible and as unsubstantial as possible. Like no information, just
and silly
repeating
shit like
Fox News
political
talking
prisoners
points.
and so on. Right, and the
wonder-
Republicans have been pushing that nonsense for months.
I wonder if the left could respond by just babbling wrong shit about sports. Like, tell them how your favorite thing is about how the bats in the NFL. Something like fundamentally wrong. We used to drive one of my friend's kids crazy by talking about the Face Talks and the Instabooks and just get social media names wrong.
Oh, God.
It was sort of like when we used to pet the dog or the cat and tell him he was a good dog. It used to make one of the Dobermans go berserk. Because he's not a dog.
Yeah.
I'm a good
I'm
dog.
the dog. Yeah.
I'm the good dog. What are you doing?
Stop petting. Anyway.
So anyway, political prisoner Jake Lang, y'all remember Jake Lang, speaks about his experience on Jan 6th as the public hearing are set to begin. And that's what it says, as the public hearing are set to begin. So, fucking bad editing on literally 2 sentences.
Yeah.
What the fuck, OAN?
Why is it?
He spoke to One America's Catelyn Sinclair from his prison cell. So, Catelyn Sinclair. She's got very long, kind of dark brown, mousy hair. It's a little wavy, but not overly so. Very pretty. Got all her makeup real perfect. Very doll-like.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wearing a dress that has cutouts, right above her boob. So, you can see a little cleavage, but not enough that it's inappropriate. Yeah, just very particular, okay? So this woman,
there's boobs, but it's not on display.
and she's got a good tan going. Got a good tan going on, okay? So this lady starts talking. And you know what she says? She says, Jake Lang. And I'm not, this is me paraphrasing, okay? But I'll tell you, the exact words she used in a certain point. She says, Jake Lang was, because I used too many words to enter that, my brain was like, now we forgot what she said. Stupid. Told you about this.
Sure you did.
I know. This is stupid. Anyway, she says that he, peaceful protesting. So Jake Lang was peacefully protesting. These are the words she used. Peacefully protesting at the Capitol. Now, the video she shares, do you remember the dude This is Jake Lang. Do you remember the dude when the cop got pulled into the crowd and you saw the face cam? Remember, you saw the body cam of the cop getting pulled into the crowd and people start hitting him? They use a faraway shot of him bending over and beating this cop. And they're saying he peacefully protested, but they share the video of him literally beating an officer who is unconscious because of him in the crowd. And they say he was peacefully protesting. I literally had to put it down, apologize to asshole, turn away from him, and scream. Just scream. No words, just the bowels of my soul just exploded from me. It was so frustrating. How these people try to spin this narrative while literally using video of him abusing police officers. It is...
And that's the sea change. That's the, like... Okay, internet, so you'll understand it. This would be the part where you see square waves in the ocean and should run like a motherfucker. Because before, right, this isn't spin anymore. Right, I've seen spin. I grew up watching spin. I love politics because of spin.
Spin was semi-believable.
Yeah, well, and it's why you have think tanks that can publish some bullshit that kind of supports the thing. It's why when we were pushing college for everybody, we took the hard science kids and just sort of said, that's kind of the trajectory college puts everyone on, when, oops, wait. But the fact that they're saying one thing while showing video that disproves it.
Yep.
Right, that's the... Fascism has to have that kind of lying up front. So that everyone knows you're socially destabilized, that reality is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right, that fascism is an attempt to run humans on a completely political system.
Yeah.
Right, to physically divorce itself from the reality. And the problem with that is eventually you end up with a crop failure or some other thing you can't summon the solution out of the land of dreams.
Yeah.
This was just
expansionism.
Yeah, no, this was just so offensive to me, and so once I got over this, I was like, all right, back to the video. So I watch another 30-45 seconds, and then they cut to Jake Lang in prison, and you've been making a video about what really happened that day, haven't you, from prison? How the fuck are you putting together video from prison, and here's the fun part, that you have never seen, and that the J6 hearing people will never show you? The fuck are you talking about?
It's a good lie.
Jesus, it was so stupid. So apparently he's been putting together this video that's going to be shared at some point in the future, I guess.
Probably in August when Mike Lindell does his thing.
But
it's
again,
got the same...
they used the video of him beating an officer, but you can't see the officer. He's just bent over doing, raising his arm and lowering it again and again. Half of the point
is the game to see what lie they can get you to believe and repeat.
Yep.
No, it made me so sick to my
That's the proof
stomach
of your...
People watch this and believe it. Fuck,
now,
my
the
friends.
leaders of the Reich were all sitting around talking about of course we're not exterminating the blah, blah, and all knew that was what was going on. No, it's about getting people to believe nonsense.
Well, as a measure of
and to not question the ever-changing reality.
Right.
Because that's how you get people to not freak out when the secret police come.
It's a proof of their religious commitment to the Trump system. So, anyway.
And I'm just going to quick read a few of the headlines, their main headlines on their page, so you guys understand that I'm not just being, just Googled that and left it at that. So some of the headlines that they have on their homepage when you log in, just, Biden's old age has Democrats worried for 2024. Cool. Biden, high gas prices, good opportunity for renewable energy.
Oh, so much for that.
Yeah, the wind took it.
Wind just should have shut a door.
Yeah. But yeah, it is cool.
Yeah, the rest is just them aggregating news.
Australian
What I
Prime
found-
Minister refuses to demand U.S. drop prosecution of WikiLeaks founder. But this is the direction they're headed, right?
Yeah.
So
That part I actually found interesting because that means OAN doesn't want Julian Assange brought to the U.S. and burned.
Oh, I will read one more just because it caught my eye and we talked about this last night. Most Senate candidate Gretens urges supporters to order their rhino hunting permit in ad campaign.
Yeah.
So, coverage of the coverage. For a while, it was really great because the Washington Post had it on their front page, and so one of Gretchen's tweets got to be about how, thanks to Washington Post for rehosting our commercial. So, what I found interesting about it was, like I said, OANN is really the TikTok of the ultra right,
It's crazy.
and Newsmax,
Little bite size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's all short, sweet, simple.
the Sesame Streetification of
You could literally comb
right-wing
through
propaganda.
right. You could literally comb through every one of their head articles in less than an hour and read every article.
You could probably see everything on there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And Newsmax very much reminded me, as I said, of the Drudge Report circa mid-90s.
Yeah, none of their paragraphs have more than 3 sentences. They're it's
I'll
Newsmax
read my
not.
and
Newsmax
see
actually-
what's there.
but anyway, I want to actually talk about what is going on with the January 6th hearings that happened today, but I wanted to share what the right-wing people are focusing on during
And the
all
answer
of
is they're
this.
not. They're just not addressing it.
Yeah.
Right, they're just ignoring
easy
it
to
completely and saying
Um,
that there's nothing there and blah blah blah.
well,
don't look, don't look, don't look.
It's
That's
the
what they
best
say.
move they've got, right? You wait until
Nothing
it's
going
done,
on here. Move
Yeah,
along.
yeah. Move along, move along.
and don't
Nothing's
even
happening.
bother saying that until it's all done.
Yeah.
Right. The last thing you want is day after day of you having to come out and nope, just don't address it at all.
Yeah.
Because truth be
And
told,
whenever you do address it, just say old news and move on.
well, and say it's not a thing that matters to the American people. The American people care about gas prices and burn dirt.
Yeah.
Right, which is
True, but
Anyway, so I found CBSNews.com did an article, and they focused on all the things I wanted them to, so that's what we're reading tonight. It says, House January 6th Committee focuses on fake electors and threats to public servants amid Trump pressure campaign. This was written June 21st, 2022, and was written by Melissa Quinn, Catherine Watson, Caitlin Yilek, and Caroline Linton. Okay. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol in Tuesday's hearing detailed the threats made to state lawmakers and election officials and workers in Arizona and Georgia as President Donald Trump and his allies tried to get them to overturn the election results in their states. The committee sought on Tuesday to bring to light the severity of the threat to democracy in the days and weeks after the election, given the enormous and persistent pressure by the president and by Rudy Giuliani on officials and ordinary Americans to promote the big lie that Trump had won the election. The ability of these Americans to withstand that pressure came at a great personal cost. Our democracy held because courageous people like you heard today put their oath to the Constitution above their loyalty to one man, committee member Representative Adam Schiff said. The system held, but barely, and the question remains, will it hold again? The hearing laid out by the plan hatched by Trump and his allies in Arizona to replace the bona fide Biden electors with phony ones. The fake electors gathered in Arizona, which Arizona House Speaker Rusty Bowers referred to as a tragic parody. Bowers refused to have any involvement with the fake electors' plan being pushed by Giuliani. Texts showed by Schiff revealed that... Oh, texts. Sorry, I said Texas. Texts showed by Schiff revealed that Republican Senator John of Wisconsin, Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, could also have played a part in the false electors scheme. The texts between Johnson's chief of staff and an aide to Pence showed Johnson's aide informing Pence's aide that the senator was ready to deliver fraudulent ballots to Pence. Do not give that to him, Pence's aide responded. Bowers said, a tenet of my faith is that the Constitution is divinely inspired. Fuck you. Sorry. Anyway, and that what he was being asked to do was foreign to my very being. The Arizona House Speaker also described what his personal life has been like since the election. In emotional testimony, Bowers said that until very recently, his family had begun to dread Saturdays when Trump supporters would drive around his neighborhood and falsely announce that he was a pedophile and a corrupt politician. He would recount an argument between the neighbor and a man with a pistol, and also talked about the reactions of his family. At the same time, on some of those, we had a daughter who was gravely ill, who was upset by what was happening outside, and my wife that is a valiant person, very strong, quiet, very strong woman. He said growing emotional, so it was disturbing. Bowers did not mention that in early 2021, his daughter died after her illness. Oh, that is sad.
That is sad.
All right, Fulton County election worker Wandura Shea Moss, who was falsely accused, along with her mother, of carrying out a fake ballot scheme, and called them professional vote scammers, allegations that led to death threats and intimidation and forced them into hiding, committee aides said. The committee showed video of Moss's mother, Ruby Freeman, testifying that she had lost my name after all the threats. Moss said that her life had been upended since the election. I haven't been anywhere at all. I gained about 60 pounds. I don't do nothing anymore. I second guess everything I do, Moss said. It's affected my life in a major way, in every way. All because of lies for me doing my job, same thing I've been doing forever. Moss said that she and none of her colleagues at the Fulton County still worked there. Committee Vice Chair Representative Liz Cheney said that Trump did not care about these threats of violence and said, we cannot let America become a nation of conspiracy theories and thug violence. Guess what? We're already there. Committee Chair Rep. Benny Thompson said in his opening statement that pressuring public servants to betray their oaths was a fundamental part of Trump's playbook. Yeah, no shit. Thompson and Trump's pressuring of these election officials was based on a big lie. The lie hasn't gone away. It's corrupting our democratic institutions, Thomas added, specifically noting that the New Mexico County official refused to certify the recent primary results. The committee also heard testimony from two Republicans in Georgia, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and Gabrielle Sterling, chief operating officers for the Secretary of State office. Raffensperger and Sterling detailed how they were pressured by Trump to find more votes in their states. I think sometimes moments require you to stand up and just take the shots. You're doing your job, Raffensperger said. And that's all we did. We just followed the law and followed the Constitution. At the end of the day, President Donald Trump came up short. The committee will hold the next public hearing on Thursday at 3 p.m. So, I just want to say that our MVW, and tonight it's actually multiple. We had two most valuable witnesses today, and that's the gorgeous Miss Ruby Freeman and her beautiful daughter, Shea Moss, who both valiantly came and stood up and told their story, and you could see the emotion on both of their faces. And poor Miss Ruby, so she was well known in town. She had a little shop, and she would sell really fashionable clothing for special women. Something along those lines was how she described it. But they were compelling, and you could see the emotion and the everything. And Shay Moss, they showed video of her testifying, and it was powerful. This woman did not pull her punches on how she felt or what she thought or what happened. And her daughter was very brave to get up in front of the
this
committee
counts as
after
brave
everything this family has been through.
and in a way that Pence didn't. Pence did his duty.
Yeah.
And then
And
supported
good on
Trump
him.
in every way he could.
Exactly.
Yeah. Including,
Well, there's been no cost to Pence.
yeah.
Right? His delusion of him having a chance at the presidency
Yeah.
is his own personal problem.
No, it sounds to me like this mother and daughter have an excellent case for defamation against Donald Trump.
Oh God, yeah. But they would never
And
win.
several
that
other
case.
Should
people.
probably get him in a case.
So, anyway, some lawyer ought to go help them with that.
I think somebody should talk to these poor women whose lives have been totally ruined by this piece of shit orange fucking
About getting
shithead.
some retribution for it in the
Yeah.
form of a defamation lawsuit. So,
Fuck this guy and fuck all of his followers. And if you're QAnon or if you're a MAGA fucking person, fuck you. And if you know a MAGA person, I'm sorry for you. I get it. It sucks. But fucking, there's got to be a way to help these people. I mean, how do you openly fight against your own
best interest.
interests and think that you are helping when every time
Because
you've done this, nothing good has
Because
happened?
you're fully invested in the MAGA world.
Oh yeah, no, and
you
we
can't-
talked about
You
it.
can't mentally
Right.
afford to say you're wrong.
No, and we talked about that the
And
other
that if-
day.
Since they've already accepted we are going to have a civil war, anything positive the government does do will be for not their team.
Yeah.
And we discussed the concept of having an invested interest. I can't remember the
Yeah,
fucking
we'll come back to
term. But anyway, just sad, and hopefully that they get some closure from this. And to everybody, just don't threaten people. It's just not okay. So remember, be good to each other. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerX, or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. Hit us up at Twitter at BoomerXTonight. And if you Google BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, all links will lead you to us. We love y'all. We'll see you back here tomorrow
And
night.
don't forget to smash the like button. Is it like button?
Yeah, smash the like button on
Smash the like
YouTube
button.
for our YouTube listeners. We
Yeah.
love y'all. We'll see you back here tomorrow night on BoomerRexTonight.